Cutting fruit. Basically what I want to do is just kind of show you some basics, save you some trouble, and we can get through this as fast as possible. Alright, so the first one that I want to show you is a lemon twist. So a lemon twist can go on drinks like Manhattans, Rob Roy's. They can also be on martinis. Somebody can get a martini with a twist. They're talking about a lemon twist. Or it could be on a Presbyterian. It could be on Cosmos. So people can ask for this on all kinds of stuff. The easiest way to make a lemon twist, what you're going to do, take your lemon and cut the ends right off of there. Just like that. Okay? Then what you want to do is cut just through the skin of the fruits. So don't cut into the actual fruit itself, just cut into the skin. And then you want to space out your cuts about every third to a quarter of an inch all the way around the fruit. Just cutting into the skin here. And then leave them on there. You want to leave them on there so that they stay fresh, because if you pull them off, then they'll dry out. When you need one of these things, what you do is you just take this, pull it right off the fruit, and there you go. So this is your twist. And what you do, just like you're wringing out a towel, you twist it, and it'll squirt the oils into the drink. So let me show you an example here. I'm going to take a little Cosmo that I've just shaken up, and you would take your little twist that you pull off of there, and what you do is you just twist it right over the drink and drop it in there. And what happens is the oils from the peel will shoot into the drink, and it just has a little oil slick that is a very strong lemon smell. It smells just like lemon starburst. And this just gives a nice little zap to your taste buds right as you bring the drink up. You get a really strong whiff of that lemon zest, and it just zaps your taste buds and gives kind of a lemon zing to the drink, and people love that. So there you go. That's a lemon twist. So the next garnish I'm going to show you is a peel. So this is basically like a ribbon that is cut off the skin of the fruit, and could be made with oranges, could be lemons, could be limes, whatever. So when you make a peel, okay, you're going to use this little tool right here. This is called a channel knife. All right, let me try to get that in there so you can see that real well. Right, so this little notched knife is what you used to make a peel. And you can get these at restaurant supply stores, $6, $7, $8. And you probably won't do these unless you work at like a really high-end martini bar. But these are great to know how to do because you definitely want to do these at private parties. What you do, and I'm going to demonstrate with an orange. Again, you could do lemons, limes, oranges. Limes tend to have kind of a thin skin, so it works better with oranges or lemons or even maybe grapefruits. So what you do is you take your little channel knife and you go right into the skin of the fruit. And then just kind of cut a little notch. Let me get up close so you can see this. And you just kind of cut a little notch right into the skin of the fruit. And what this will do is get a little ribbon out of there. When you're scouting out fruit at the store to do this, you want fruit that is pretty firm, because if it's really soft, then it's kind of hard to keep the little channel knife engaged into the skin. So look for fruit that's a little bit on the more firm side. And you can do this all the way down to the bottom. And then there you go. This is your peel. So what we're going to do with this is we're going to wrap this around a straw, and this will hold its shape in a really short period of time. So take this, let me try to get in closer so you can see this, and you're going to stab one end with a thumbtack. So just kind of stab it with a little thumbtack right through the straw. Actually, let me get closer to the end of it here. Stab the end of it with a thumbtack, like so. And then you wrap this right around the straw with the outside of the peel out. And this thing is going to hold its shape in just a few short minutes. I have to hold this nice little coiled up shape. then what you're going to do is you're going to stab the other end of this with a thumbtack, just like that. So once our peel has sat for a few minutes, then it's going to hold its shape. And this, like I explained in the video on how to get private parties, is that peel that I was talking about that you can take out. So again, to recap, when you're at the private party, you're going to be looking for that social butterfly, and when they come up and order a drink, doesn't matter what they order, you go, oh my God, that's the special drink. You shake them up a drink. So let's say one of the social people at the party wants a Cosmo. So you make them up a Cosmo, and then you'd pull one of these things out of your little shaker tin that you've pre-made at the start of the party, and then you take your little thumbtacks right out of here, and then you just take this thing off the straw. Sometimes it'll stick a little bit, so you can just kind of untwist it, and that thing will come right off of there. And then you put it right into the drink, and just hang that right on the side there. And maybe a little higher like this, like that. And you go, that is the special drink. And they'll take it and go, walking back into the party with this in their hand. So remember, they're the social person, so they know everybody. So they're walking around with this in their hand, and people are going, oh my God, what is that? This is the special drink. Where'd you get a special drink? That smashingly handsome bartender out there made it for me. So now people are going to come rushing up to your bar asking you for the special drink. So that's the whole point of what this is. Just going to get people to you at a private party, and then you can get other offers for other parties. Alright, the next one I want to show you is a full wheel and a half wheel. So full wheels, these are cut real thin, they're just for presentation. So you can make these with lemons, you can make them with limes, you can make them with oranges. You prepare them all the same way. So when you're going to make a full wheel, what you do is you cut the end off, in this instance, our lime. Yeah, just cut your ends off of this thing. Then you need a slice for your glass. So before you cut all your wheels off, just put one slice right into it, just like that. Now, when you cut your full wheels off, these things will be real nice and thin, and they can go right onto your glass. So just like that. Full wheel. Then, kind of like a full wheel with a half wheel, it's the same concept. You're going to cut the ends off of your lime. Then you're going to cut this thing completely in half. Right? So you have a half wheel there. Then you need a slice for your glass. So before you cut your wheels, just put one little slice right into the garnish there. And cutting these real thin, because they're just for presentation. Have a slice for your glass, and there you go. There's a half wheel. The next one is a wedge. A wedge is when you need actual fruit juice going into the drink, so like margaritas, mojitos, or gimlets, anything where you want actual fruit juice, Mexican beers. This is where you're going to use a wedge. So the wedge could be oranges, lemon, limes, but I'm going to demonstrate with a lime. This is the most common wedge garnish. When I make a wedge, what I'll do is I'll cut just the tips right off of the lime. So you don't have to, but I just kind of cut the little nipple off of there. It just makes it look clean and it's easy to cut. Sometimes you'll have a machine in your bar or at a restaurant or something where you can put a lime in there and you pull the big handle down and like ka-chunk, it'll cut fruit like a pie, which if you have one of those, sweet. You can cut like 100 freaking limes in 10 minutes. But if you don't, then you're going to have to use a sharp serrated knife. So again, cut the little nipple right off of there. Then cut this thing in half. And just like our wheels and half wheels, we need a slice for our glass. So what you do is you put one little notch right into the fruit, just like that. So you just put one little notch right in there, just like that. Then, when you cut your wedges, it'll have a slice for your glass. So, different people have different techniques for cutting wedges. Me having cut tens of thousands of fucking lime wedges in my day, I found that this is the fastest, most effective way to cut wedges. So I'll lay it flat, and eventually you can work up to cutting two of these at the same time, right? You can cut 2 halves at once, but just start with 1 half at first until you get used to it. So what I do is I lay it flat, and then I will cut it in half, and then I'll cut it on the right side, and then I'll cut it on the left side. And this is the weird little cut that you got to get used to, because you're kind of holding the fruit and you're cutting in between your fingers. So be careful at first when you get used to it. But then you have a nice little slice for your glass. You can put this thing right on there, just like that. Real easy. That's a wedge. So once you've done your wedges, then you can also do your half wedges. So this is pretty obvious. What you're going to do is you're just going to take your wedge that you've cut and then turn these things sideways and then cut them in half. And there you go. That is your half wedge. So these are great on top of Mexican beers, any cocktail that has lime as a garnish, like say maybe a Cape Cod. Then what you do is just throw a couple wedges right on there, just like that. Remember that when you're putting a garnish onto somebody's cocktail, you don't want to squeeze the garnish in there. Like lime juice, sometimes people don't want the limes in their Cape Cod or their Cuba Libre or even their Mexican beers. So, as much fun as it is to squeeze your customer's fruit, don't do it. Okay, so that's cutting fruit. Now you know how to do all the cool fancy garnishes like a peel, a twist. You got full wheels, half wheels, wedges, half wedges. You know how to go in and use these cool fancy garnishes at private parties to help you make a ton of cash and just have a lot of fun.